Good morning, everybody. Ranganathan here. Again, welcome to the next batch of slides presentation, the tourism part B. Now, today we'll take about an hour again, and then I'll present. Thank you all very much for joining me today. Kindly give me a minute for sharing my slides. Again, this is the 36th presentation of the 50 slides, 50 themes in 50 weeks. This is the 36th week under the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and India. Okay. Now, this again is for tourism. What you see here is a specimen stamp of tourism, Mihon, and the first day cancellation on a picture postcard on tourism, which was released in 1967. Now, my trip, 14th April 2017. This is a very interesting stamp that I found. When someone goes on a tour and covers some interesting tourist spots, they may want a friend to visit the same spot and enjoy as well. So they may write a letter with a sketch on the route and the places to visit and some details about the places, etc., and send it to them. This sheet of 7 self-adhesive stamps, what you see here on the left, are 5 denomination of 18 yens and 2 denominations of 120 yens, was printed for a limited quantities on the same principle of somebody, as if somebody writing a my trip details to somebody else. This stamp sheet is sold only in a package containing a stationery that's sold for 1,200 yens with the above concept of tour map. Okay. The sketch may indicate the best route to follow from the beginning to end of the route and a small note about each place. One such letter set with a sketch has been made into a stamp and sold. This is sold in the year 2017 on April 14th. This is a 280 by 210 millimeter sheet. It's called a mini sheet, and it's a commemorative stamp. Perforations by die cut and offset lithography was used for printing, are all self-adhesive, and 650 yens is the face value, but however it is sold for 1,200 yens as a package, and only limited quantities were printed. Okay, we go to the next. Scenery of the trip. The first series of the new Furusato. Furusato means the native place. Of the new Furusato stamps to introduce the scenery and customs of the respective tourist destinations in Japan. In total, 18 main sheets, each with 10 stamps, were released during the 1st September 2008 to June 25th, 2013, as a part of the prefectural stamps. From 2016, Japan Post started another series called My Journey Stamp Series, number 1, on the 19th of August. While the first set of 18 mini sheets cover places of tourist interest, the second set on My Journey covers not only places but also cuisines, the food, and variety of different regions. Now, the latest of My Journey 2 mini sheets were released finally on the 14th January 2022, this year. Now, let's look into the first sheet. This is Sagano Arashiyama area in Kyoto. This sheet was released on 1st of September 2008. Now, the stamp details are given here, and this is again to promote tourism. The scenery stamp is released, and let's see what are the details of the stamps. Otagi Nembutsuji. Otagi Nembutsuji is normally Ji when they say Ji, it is a Buddhist temple in Arashima neighborhood in Kyoto, founded by Emperor Shotoku in the middle of 8th century. That is the first stamp that you see on top. Then we have the Saga Torimoto. It's an old-fashioned village, some 20 minutes walk from Arashima bamboo forest. The bamboo forest is amazing. I had the opportunity to go by the scenic train, get on and walk through the Arashima forest, and go to the river banks where I could watch the cormorant birds fishing the Ainu fish in the river. I think River Ozu was the river in which the fishing was taking place. We also boarded a boat and went into the river to watch that. The main street is lined up with the restored townhouses dating back to the Meiji period. Arashiyama, the Storm Mountain, is a district on the western outskirts of Kyoto, Japan. It also refers to the mountain across the Oi River, which forms the backdrop of the district. Arashiyama is a nationally designated historic site and place of scenic beauty. The places of tourist interest are shown in the stamp sheet that is issued on September 1st, 2009. Now, place of tourist interest, if you see, I've also shown them in a bigger space here. Okay. And then coming back to that, Arashiyama is an excellent tourist place near Kyoto. There is a scenic train, which is once it was run by a steam locomotive, but now, of course, it has been replaced by a diesel train starting from Kyoto, and the track runs parallel to the Osu River all the way along the scenic route. I think even now, on the weekends, once the steam locomotive runs, the boarding place in near Kyoto, if you go, you can also see the old locomotives parked there. You can look at them and take some nice pictures of the old steam locomotives. The tourist boats on the river run most of the time parallel and nearer to the track. You can see tourists sitting at the boat and they can wave at you. You can wave at them. The Bamboo Grove Arashiyama is a very popular spot. The Moon Crossing Bridge, the bridge there is called the Moon Crossing Bridge across the Osu River, is known for its view of the cherry blossoms and the autumn colors and cormorant fishing in the river. Now, the next sheet is Kyoto Kiyomizu-dera, the scenery of the trip, to 1st of October 2008. Now, Kyoto served as Japan's capital and emperor's residence from 794 until 1868. It is one of the country's largest cities, a very well planned city at those times. You can see the streets crossing in perfect angles. It is of a great tourist attraction with countless temples, shrines, and other historically priceless structures that survived the World War II. Kiyomizu-dera, the meaning is pure water temple. Situated in the eastern Higashiyama, Kiyomizu-dera is one of the most famous temples in Kyoto. The temple was founded in 778 AD and contains buildings from the 17th century, including a main hall designated as a national treasure. The temple's wooden stage is undoubtedly what the temple is most famous for, offering an outstanding panoramic view of Kyoto. You can see on the stamp on the left-hand side top, you can see a Saturn and pair, and the Saturn and pair shows you the temple on wooden legs or pillars, from where you can, from that stage, you can have a panoramic view of Kyoto. Now, then we have the Chichakuen Shokegiga. This is a Buddhist temple in Nigashikuo, Kyoto, Japan. It is affiliated to the Shingon-shu Shizan Ha Buddhism. It was established in 1601, and interior paintings are famous for the shoji, sliding door, and walls are called the Shoeikiga. Okay. Then we have the stamp. That's the sliding door is what you see on the yellow, on another Saturn and pair on the top right. Okay. Then Kodaiji is formally identified as Jubusan Kodaiji is the temple of Rinzai school of Zen Buddhism in Higashiyama, Kyoto. Sanei-zaka, the area is alive with tourists visiting the souvenir shops and restaurants. The old-fashioned Sanei-zaka slope is precious site that has been selected as the national important preservation district of the historic buildings. Then Yasukanato is a long pagoda rising overlooking the floating world of Gion, and below you can see the Asukanato. Pagoda is lively sight by day and night, whichever way you can see. Then Maiko. Maiko is an apprentice geisha in Kyoto, in the Western Japan. Their job is performing songs, dances, and playing of the musical instrument shamisen and other traditional Japanese instruments for visitors during the banquets and parties. Then Shurijo Kokusai Dori. This is in Okinawa. This sheet was released on 23rd January 2009. Shurijo Kokusai Dori. Kokusai Dori is an international street. Kokusai Dori is a street of a hugely popular tourist location in Naha. Naha is the capital of Okinawa, the capital city. The name Kokusai Dori translates to International Road or the International Street. It is one of the best known tourist spots, and though it is very much aimed at foreign tourists, it is still an interesting window shopping place for the locals also. Now, if you see this one, the Shurijo descending dragon on the gable, these are about the individual stamps that you see in the sheet, okay, in the main hall. A sketch of the sculpture of the decorated Shurijo castle's main hall, which was destroyed in 2019 fire, found in Kanazawa, and the sketch outlines how the sculpture featuring the two dragons facing each other and treasure jewel called Hojo, and that was made from that sketch that was available in Kanazawa. Because that was destroyed by fire, they had to get a sketch. That sketch was available in Kanazawa. And of course, that's a very interesting story. The sketch was not maintained anywhere else, but the person who made this original Shurijo, he has made a sketch, and the sketch was available in his house. And his wife gave the sketch for these people to make it. Then, Shurijo Seidan is the main hall. The castle was destroyed in 1945 war and again in 2019 by fire. A plan to rebuild main hall by 2026 underway. The renovation is going on. Okay. Rikyu-byo. Rikyu is the old name of Okinawa. Byo is a traditional dance. There is two types of dancing called Rikyu dance nowadays in Okinawa. One's classical dance, which dance in the palace for king of Rikyu. Rikyu had there was a kingdom. There was a king and his guests in Rikyu kingdom area in the 18th century. Another is the folklore dance, which dance is of daily life and the customs of Meiji era. Okay. Then we talk about Shurijo Zuizen-mon and Rococo Mon. Okay. These are two gates. Mon is always gate at the Shurijo Castle, Naha City, Okinawa. And then Zuizon means splendid and auspicious spring. And Renhoku means water clock in Chinese. So the Okinawa Charumi Aquarium, it is aquarium as an exhibit, encounter Okinawan Sea and reproduces the sea of Okinawa and most of the creatures that live in there. Charumani was selected Charu Umi was selected as the name of the aquarium by public vote amongst the Japanese people. Charu, thank you. Charu means beautiful or graceful in the Okinawa language, and Umi means ocean. The gardens of Shinken-yen are located in a small hill on the north of the castle in Naga. The Kijocho Ishidan Stone Path. Okay, let's leave the very difficult Japanese names here. The Stone Path is the last remnant of the state administered 4 kilometers road, and this is called Madamichi, built in 1522 between Madambashi Bridge and Kukuba and Shirijo Castle. Shisha and Kokusai Dori, Shisha and Rikugan lion dog figures are used to ward off evil and spirits found in the International Street in Naga. Now, Okinawa Urban Monorail, this is a stamp that has been released even earlier also in 2003. 8th of August is released. Tourist attractions include Okinawa Charu-Umi aquarium board, which we talked at the one time the world's largest aquarium. Century Beach, Pineapple Park, and the Orion Beer Factory, and Hiji Falls. In recent years, Okinawa has become an increasingly popular destination for tourists from China and Southeast Asia. In 2018, Okinawa attracted something like 98 lakh tourists and a growth of 4.7% from earlier 93 lakhs in the previous year. However, the current COVID has stopped a lot of visas into Japan. There have been restrictions for people to come into the country. So otherwise, it's a very beautiful place. I have also been to Okinawa. It's a very nice, beautiful place. Okinawa Urban Monorail, also known as UE Rail, is a monorail line serving cities of Naha and Urase, Okinawa, Japan. Operated by Okinawa Urban Monorail Inc., it opened on 10th August 2003 and is the only public rail system in Okinawa Prefecture. Then Okinawa Charu-Umi Aquarium, we have been talking about it. In Yanbaru area, the sheet was released on 2nd of February 2009. You can see the pictures there, and then the explanation will be following. Shisha is the guardian lions found in throughout Okinawa. They consist of 2 statues that typically stand guard against entrances and also on rooftops. Tejima and Ertina Varigate. These are designated the official flower of Okinawa Prefecture in 1967, which features the popular song Shimauta associated with Okinawa. In addition, the use of wood in the design, the use of wood of the Daigo tree is one of the unique characteristics of the Ryukyukan lacquerware. Okinawa Charu-Umi aquarium introduced the mystery of Okinawa's marine creatures, starting with the naturally lit coral sea tank, which exhibits large selection of the coral reef. Next is enormous dynamic Kuroshia Sea, and aquarium has succeeded in breeding and where you can observe world's biggest fish as well as the whale, sharks, and manta rays, which is the world's first the aquarium that has succeeded in breeding them. This beautiful Clear Seas Aquarium shows Okinawa's entire underworld to the visitor. Nakijinjo Castle remains the Nakijin village, live a fortress which is in the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Nakijin Castle, which shares the same scale of Shuri Castle, is attractive for the huge high-soaring walls and the beautiful curves. The cherry trees here are the earliest bloom in Japan. Then the Okinawa rail, or Aka Yanbaru guina, is the largest species found only in Yanbaru forest in the northern part of Okinawa, Japan. Northern tip of Okinawa, Japan. Then we have the Misaki Cape. The Edo Misaki Cape is known as Edo Point, is the northernmost point of Okinawa Island and located with the Kunigami village. The site has become a tourist destination, both for its location and for the monument erected there, commemorating the end of the US occupation and the return of Okinawa to Japan's sovereignty. Most of the visitors love to go and take a picture in front of this monument. Then we have the base mangrove, Gasashi base mangrove is a rich habitat of plants and animals. This dense growth of trees is free to visit for people. With a lot of trees, you can go there and it's a no entrance fee. Then we have the next sheet is released on 21st August 2009. We have the sheet Todaiji. Todaiji is the Great Eastern Temple. It is one of the Japan's most famous historically significant temples and a landmark of Nara. The temple was constructed in 752 as the head temple of the provincial Buddhist temples of Japan and grew into such a powerful that the capital was moved from Nara to Nagaoka in 784 in order to lower the temple's influence in government affairs. Until recently, Todaji Main Hall, the Daibutsu Den, the Big Buddha Hall, held the record as the world's largest wooden building, despite the fact that the present reconstruction of the 1692 is only 2/3 of the original temple height. The 15 meters tall seated Buddha represents a particular sect of Buddhists and is called Varyokana sect and flanked by 2 bodhisattvas. And then we have the Nara National Museum. Nara National Museum is located in Nara, which is the capital of Japan from 710 to 784. Give me a minute, please. Katayama Tokuma designed the original building, which represented Western-style buildings of the Meiji period and has designated imperial cultural property in Japan. Okay. Kasuga Taisha Shrine and is a Kasuga Taisha is a Shinto shrine. When I say shrine, it is Shinto in Nara Prefecture, and in the shrine of the Fujiwara family, established in 768 and rebuilt several times over the centuries. The interior is famous for many bronze lanterns that you see. Kofukuji. Kofukuji is a Buddhist temple and was once one of the powerful 7 great temples in the city of Nara, Japan. The temple is the national headquarters of Hoso School. Mount Wakakusa is also known as Mount Mikasa. It's a 342 meters high hill located in the east of Nara Park, and the main name is literally means young grass, Wakakusa. Okay, and on the fourth Saturday every January, in the dead grass of the Mount Kusa is burnt in an annual festival known as Yamayaki, that means mountain burning, and the tradition supposed to be originated from a boundary dispute between the temples Todaiji and Kofukuji in 1760. The festival today begins with the ceremonial lighting by representing both the temples. Has been solved, I think, followed by a fireworks display. Of course, summer and any other periods, whenever there's an opportunity, they have beautiful fireworks display in Japan. Then Imanishike Shoin, the traditional residential house, originally built in the Edo area, were registered as Japan's important cultural property, and it has been owned by Imanishi family, who also runs Harushika Sake Brewery. It's the next location. The Nara Park is a public park located in the city of Nara, Japan, at the foot of Mount Wakakusa, and it was established in 1880, and it is one of the oldest parks in Japan. Administratively, the park is under the control of Nara Prefecture. The park is one of the places of scenic beauty in 1200, and wild deer called the shika in the park and classified wild. Though they're called wild, means they're not confined, but they're very sober deer that will not harm anybody. They're very friendly with people. And then the interesting thing is this Todaji Buddha, the huge, great Buddha, when his eyes, normally eye opening of this Buddha statue is a very big ceremony. The emperor himself was there. Emperor, I think Shomu was there, and the empress was there. Emperor Koken was there, and the person who was invited to open the eyes was Bodhidharma, Bodhisattva. He traveled from India to China, from China to Japan, and this great honor was given to him to open the eyes of Buddha, which is a very important thing in the temple's history. Then Asuka area in the Nara prefecture, this is 21st August 2009. The view of Asuka area contains the first temples, shrines, tombs, and stone monuments of Japan. Although it is not the most well-known Japan's capitals, it is one of the first serving as a political, artistic, and religious center of Japan during the 5th and 6th centuries. This is a time a great change in Japan. It is here the Kashihara area that the first emperor is thought to have taken the throne. During the Asuka period, 538 to 710, Buddhism arrived from China, bringing with many other cultural innovations. This period marked as the first time in Japan's function as a united national state. Of course, Japan afterwards went through a lot of wars, and I mean internal wars, and then later only after the shoguns took over, the nation was once again unified. Asuka area, Nara prefecture, is Tachibana Dera, is a temple again. It's a temple of Tendai sect of Buddhism and was built in Asuka village in the time of Shotoku Taishi, that is 574-622. Perhaps most importantly, years later in 606, while Prince Shotoku was lecturing on the Buddhism in a villa, when suddenly lotus petals suddenly began falling from the sky, and the prince's crown started shine brightly, and the miraculous display astonished Emperor Suiko and ordered Shotoku to build the Tachibana Dera. And then Ishibutai Kofun. Kofun is the tumulus. It's a stone kofun is a tumulus of the Asuka period in the east of Shimano Sho Asuka in the Nara prefecture. and the kofun is believed to have been the tombstone of Soga of Umeko. It occupies an area of 27 meters square or 2,091 square feet, and is the largest known megalithic structure in Japan. Then Asuka Shiryokan Sekijinzo. The Sekijinzo excavated from Ishigami Shiki in 1903. A 1.7 meter statue of a man and a woman holding him on his back. Totally different from the style of Buddhist images. Most significant feature of that is that the hole penetrates in the statue, and water will spout from the mouths of the man and the woman. A replica is placed in the garden of the Asuka Shiryokan Museum, and the artifact itself is exhibited inside the museum. Then Tanzan Jinja, Tanzan Shrine is a Shinto shrine in Sakurai, in Nara Prefecture again. And the shrine traces its origin to Tendai Temple, built in Asuka period 538 to 710, called Tonomine-ji, under Shimbutsu Shugo, a system of syncretism of Buddhism and Kami worship, that is the Shinto worship. The site was both a Shinto shrine and a Buddhist temple. And Tanzan Shrine and Tonomine-ji is existed at the same site. Okay. Tonomine Engi Emaki is a legend. Mount Shigi Emaki is a illuminated manuscript detailing miracles attributed to monk Myoran, who lived in Mount Shigi near Nara in the later part of 9th century. Then Sendai and Matsushima area in Miyagi, 29 January 2010. The view of Matsushima archipelago is a pine class islets. Okay. The small islands, that's why they're called as islands, collectively bearing the name Matsushima Pine Islands, and it has been famed for its beauty ever since northern Japan was conquered from Ainu. Aborigines people were the original occupants of Japan in Hokkaido area, and on the 8th century, and ranks are the same as one of the Sankei, are the three most beautiful scenes of the empire, and the other two being Miyajima, which is the Miyajima floating gate, and Amano Ashidate. Okay. View of Matsushima. Each island is received a separate name, many of them very fantastic names. Buddha's Fury into Nirvana, Question and Answer Island, the 12 inspired concerts, and so on. And no less fantastic than names of the shape of the islands themselves. And almost every available nook and stands one of these 1,000 pine trees that have given name and fame to the locality. This is written in the Handbook of Travels to Japan. That's where I saw this information. Sendai Castle site. Sendai Castle was built in a natural strategic position and of Mount Aba of Masamune Date, while none of the castle keep buildings remain. Stone walls from long ago, and the castle turrets are a reminder they're there as a reminder of the history. In Sendai, you must all maybe knowing that's one of the places. The airport was completely flooded during the 2011 March 11th triple disaster. Of course, the airport was brought back to commission with the full airport being flooded, and within 1 year, the first flight started landing, and then they became operational. That's where the Japanese bouncing back comes into the thing. Koro Urishi Gomai Dokusoku. Urishi is the black lacquer. Okay, this means warrior armor with 5 different parts painted with black lacquer. That is made by a professional artist who makes warrior armors for the Japanese TV dramas and movies. This is how kept Data Masume Museum in Sendai for visitors to wear and try. You can go and wear the armor and feel like a warrior of the Japanese history. Hello place Sendai. A city loop bus goes in the loop through the tourist spots in Sendai, the city of trees. Perfect for quick tours, convenient. The bus is an enjoyable way to see the sights of Sendai. You can get on, get up, hop, like hop-in bus. Then we have the Josenji Dori Avenue. Is a pleasant tree-lined boulevard in central Sendai, and the city takes pride in for their having a European atmosphere. Numerous events take place along the street throughout the year, both large and small. The Sendai Tanabata Matsuri. Tanabata Matsuri is very famous in Sendai. Maybe the largest Tanabata is in Sendai, held every year in August 6th to 8th, and one of the largest and most famous Tanabata. You must be knowing Tanabata Matsuri is supposed to be the Weaver Princess and the Shepherd boy supposed to meet in the Milky Way in the sky. That is the festival that they have. And on that day, if you write your wishes, and put it in a bamboo pole at that place, wherever the festival is there, or in your own houses, your wishes will come true, is what is the belief. Okay. Now, Akita's Kanto Matsuri, Awamori Nebuta Matsuri are the 2 other 3 great Tohoku festivals that you have, along with Sendai's Tanabata. Zuihon Den is a mausoleum complex of Tate Masumune and his heirs, Daimyo and Sendai Domain. Then you have the Rennoji temple that is founded in 1441 by Tate Mochimune, a member of the Tate clan, and that later controlled large parts of the northern Japan in the Edo period. That's then we have the Seto Inland Sea area on the 1st of March. This is released in 2010. Then we have the Seto Ohashi Bridge, the world's longest 2-tiered bridge system. The Seto Ohashi is an architectural feat visible from space that looked like a decade took a decade to build. This connects Kuroshiki in Okayama Prefecture and in the Honshu, the 5 islands both by road and rail, ending up in the city of Sakaide in Shikoku, which is another island there. Japan denim capital, Kojima, the Beacon historical quarter, famed for its willow trees, and which is also known almost like because it's known as the where there are a lot of waterways in which you can go by boat, and like the European city. I'm sorry, my names skip my mind. And then the lovely Edo period. Uh, it's a beautiful tree-lined canal, and they also have the Ohara Museum of Art in the side of the Kuroshiki. Kuroshiki became historical quarter. During the Edo period, Kurashiki was an important point along the distribution route of Japan's most important commodity, rice. Canals were built to allow boats and barges to navigate between the city's storehouses and nearby ports. So this is a central section of the city's former canal system. It's called the Kurashiki Bikin and was preserved by the Bikin Historical Quarter. The weeping willow trees, the time and the canal, and the same stone barges that cover over the water make a very picturesque scene. Then we have the Ohara Museum of Art. The Ohara Museum is not converted, is not a converted storehouse. It was built in 1930 specifically as the first museum in the Western art in Japan. It houses the impressive collections of Western masterpieces by artists such as Picasso, El Greco, and other famous artists. English audio guides are available free of charge at this place. Then Kotohira Gu. Kotohira Gu is it's what you call in English, it's called Konpira Shrine. It's a Shinto shrine in the town of Kotohira in Kagawa, Japan. And this shrine is the patron of the sea ship transport sailors. Okay, and then the principal kami of this shrine is Omono Nushino Mikato, a spirit associated with safeguarding seafarers and also referred to as a Buddhist deity Kompira. In 1165, the spirit of Emperor Sotoku was also enshrined here. Use of Sokeki Fuji, you can see this another Mount Lino, the famous mountain known as Tsunuki Fuji or Mount Fuji of Kagawa is a mountain with an altitude of not so tall as the regular real Mount Fuji, about 422 meters, that straddles Marugume city and Sakaide city. It is also derived from the fact that it has a beautiful shape of Mount Fuji. Some people call it as Mount Limo, Kagawa Prefecture Fuji, but it is attracting attention that the natural phenomenon called as a diamond Fuji. You can see the diamond when the sun appears above the Fuji. You can see the diamond Fuji, and the Mount Fuji can also be seen you can also see a diamond Fuji in Mount Fuji also. Okay. Ritsurin Garden. Ritsurin Garden is a landscape of garden of Takamatsu city, built by the local feudal lords, sharing the early Edo period, considered one of the best gardens in Japan. It is often suggested that the Ritsurin Garden, Ritsurin Koen is what we call in Japan, Ritsurin Garden, deserves a spot along with the 3 most beautiful gardens in Japan. Kanazawa's Kenroku-en, and then Korakuen, and Okayama's Karakuen. So, Kairakoen, Korakuen, Kenroku-en, the 3 beautiful cities. They say this also needs to be included in that. Seto Inland Sea Area, 8th July 2010. The while Bridge Over the Sky is a part of the Seto Ohashi Bridge. The Great Seto Bridge or the Seto Ohashi Bridge, the series of double-deck bridge connecting Okayama and Kagawa Prefecture of Japan, and a series of small islands in Seto Inland Sea. Another 3 routes of the Honshu Shikoku Bridge project connecting Honshu and Shikoku Islands, and the only one that carries a rail traffic. And this area, you see, this part of the Seto Ohashi Bridge is a bridge that's a very long bridge. The bridge, the world's longest two-tier bridge system, is the only bridge connecting the Shikoku and Honshu by rail, and connecting the 1-hour journey to that's reduced the 1-hour 3 journey to 20 minutes by car or train, with additional line for. There's also an additional line for futuristic Shinkansen to connect mainland to Shikoku. There is a tour led by a professional guide to the top of the 135 meters bridge tower. That's why it's called as White Bridge on Sky. If you go on top, you can see the bridge from the bridge's top. It says you can look down the bridge. Chozo Temple is a temple built in 1190 to 1198 years. A Buddha statue at the height of 5.3 meters, which is a national treasure, the temple. And this is a 49th temple in the sacred Shikoku pilgrimage, Ehime, Japan. Mount Shirotaki and the 500 Goyaku Rakan. It is a rocky mountain with an altitude of 227 meters, and on top of the stone Buddha statue of Goyaku Rakan. Goyaku Rakan was built by Tenryuku Kashiwabara and his disciples, and from top one can see the islands floating in the Seto Inland Sea and the Inoshima Bridge, because in the Seto Inland Sea you can see the tides moving up and down, so the islands look like floating in the sea. Okay. Gujo Temple and 3-storied pagoda. One of the islands in the Seto Island is Isekuchi-jima and Hiroshima Prefecture. There stands the temple with a painted and sculptured 3-stone pagoda completed in 1432, designated as a national treasure, and the temple stands on a hill with a pagoda higher on the hill. Then we have the Oyamazumi Shrine. Oyamazumi Shrine is located in the island of Omishima and in the Seto Inland Sea. The shrine is dedicated to the gods who protect sailors and other soldiers. Because of this, many daimyo and other military leaders have made offering to this shrine in the hope of military success and thank the victory in the battles. Omishima Bridge is one of the most unique bridges in the entire Shimanami Kaido. Shimamani Kaido. the approaches to the bridge is longer than the other bridges. The bridge itself is the shortest of all the other bridges in this route, but the approach is longer than other. Then we have the Imabari Castle. Imabari Castle is in Imabari, Ehime, Japan, and the castle is well known as one of the three Minjuro, Minzujiro, or castle in the sea in Japan, along with Takamatsu Castle in Kagawa Prefecture, in Nakatsu Castle and Oita Prefecture. Then we have the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in 2010 on the 1st of October. It is there. You can see the beautiful bridge, and it is in Kobe. Okay, Akashi Kaikyo Bridge is a suspension bridge which again links the city of Kobe to the Japanese island in Honshu. Kobe is in Honshu, and to the Iwaya and Awaji Island. It's a part of the Kobe Awaji Naruto Expressway and crosses the busy and turbulent Akashi Strait. It's completed in 1998 and has been the second largest central span of any suspension bridge in the world, around 1,991 meters. You can see the bridge on the sheet on the right of you. Then Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall. Of course, Sun Yat-sen is not a Japanese person, he was a Chinese. The memorial hall is located in Maiko Park, Hyogo Prefecture. This Chinese building is dedicated to Sun Yat-sen, the father of Xinhai Revolution. Xinhai Revolution. Awaji Anasaj. Awaji Anasajiki. A flower field that generally spreads on towards Osaka Bay and hilly area of the northern Awaji Island. A flower sightseeing spot where you can enjoy a large phenomena of vast flowers around 15 hectares. Then we have the Awaji Ningyo Jori. Awaji Ningyo Jori is Awaji puppet narrative, national importance. It's a intelligent, folk cultural puppetry is what he calls Ningyo Jori, and it's said to be the origin of the Ebisu Moi, dance of the fishing and shipping kami. Ebisu is a Shinto god for shipping and fishing. So there is a dance that's called the Ebisu Mai. And then it's linked to the Kuminomi story, Kumiomi story, is performing art representative of Awaji Island and is performed with 3 puppeteers puppets and then thick black shamisen, thick neck shamisen. In the golden era, the Ningyo Jori, it is mid-Edo period, there were at least 40 troops, and it is its appeal reached to people all over Japan. Then we have the Onoruto Bridge. Onoruto Bridge is a suspension bridge in the Kobe Awaji Naruto Expressway connecting Minami Awaji, Hyogo and Awaji Island with Naruto, Tokushima and Oge Island in Japan, and completed in 1985. It is a main span of 876 meters, which is 2,874 feet, Although it is one of the largest bridges in the world, it is dwarfed by the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge, which is in the same route. Whirling waves of Naruto. See, if you go to that particular time, if you go to that spot from the bridge, you can see Naruto is the whirlpool of tidal whirlpools in the Naruto Strait, a channel which is 1.3 kilometers width between Naruto and Awaji Islands, which is connects Pacific Ocean and the inland sea. The tidal variation and speed of moving water creates these whirlpools twice a day. So if you go only at that time, then you can see the whirlpools, and they go with moving very fast. And then the tide moves in large movements of water into the inland sea, and twice a day, and it removes large amount of water twice a day also. Okay. Esaki Lighthouse. Esaki Lighthouse, one of the 26 lighthouses built in Meiji era by British engineer Richard Henry Burnett, and it is located at the northernmost cape of Awaji Islands, facing Akashi Strait opposite to Kobe. Hokkaido, on February 1st, 2011, Sapporo Snow Festival. You can see this sheet is covering that. And of course, I have given the stamp details in every stamp. I have given the details which can be read. The Sapporo Snow Festival, Sapporo Yuki Matsuri, is held for 1 week every February in Hokkaido capital, Sapporo. It is one of Japan's most popular winter events. The Sapporo Snow Festival was started in 1950 when high school students built a new snow statues of in Odori Park. It has since developed into a large commercialized event featuring spectacular snow and ice sculptures and attracting more than 2 million visitors from Japan and also from across the world. The festival sites are the Odori site, is called the Odori Park, and then Tsudome site and Susukino site. And then we have the Hokkaido sheet stamps are there. One is Penguin Walk, Arashima Zoo traditionally winter penguin walk, in which a group of penguin paddles down the designated course through the zoo twice a day. In the zoo, it takes place and gives visitors a chance to have a close look at them. And this event was kicked off in December 25th. Then Otaru Snow Light Path. Otaru Snow Light Path Festival is a winter festival held every February in Otaru, during which the city becomes decorated with lights and small snow statues for 10 days. The festival usually runs in the same time as the nearby Sapporo Snow Festival. Then Lake Toya in winter. The winter lake Toya may drop. The temperature in the winter lake Toya may drop as low as minus 10 degrees centigrade, highest being minus 2 degrees centigrade. Therefore, heavy winter clothing is suggested for your visit to Lake Toya and during the winter. The heavy winter is January, February, and as the January onwards, you can call. And the snow thickness is the best. You can wear snow boots to get mountains and go to the mountains and hills. You may need a snow boot. Then Hokkaido Orthodox Church. This church, that is the Orthodox Church in Japan, was founded in 1858 by the Russian consulate. The existing building was built in 1916. It's known as representative Western style buildings in Hokkaido. And Hokkaido has got a lot of Western style buildings. and because Hokkaido is in the border of Japan and Russia, so there's a closer connection with Europe. So you have a lot of those buildings of that Western style. The existing building built was 19. It's a representative Western style buildings in Hokkaido. Then Shiratoko Five Lakes and Shiratoko Mountain Range. It is the Shiratoko Five Lakes or the set of 5 small lakes formed long ago by the eruption of nearby Mountain Iyo and fed by underground springs. The 5 lakes offer beautiful views of the surrounding mountains and wilderness. And then we talk about Grass Japanese in Japan, the red-crowned crane, okay, Techo crane, Tancho crane, Tancho Zuru is what they call, is said to have lived for 1,000 years. The crane is a symbol of long life, fidelity, loyalty, because the pair of red-crowned crows, they always live together, and they've been used as a series of Japanese D1000N note. And the crane myth in Japan is it'll be very positive, whatever is the myth about that, because they call it as loyal to their partner and live longer. And then it makes only for a same mate the plane has all the time and flies high for miles without even getting tired. So it was selected as a logo for the Japan Airlines. You can see JAL logo with a red crown crane there because it can fly longer distance without getting tired. Then the drift ice is CF ice that is not attached to any shoreline but only other fixed object, shoals, grounded icebergs, etc. Unlike fast ice, which is fastened to be fixed object, drift ice is carried along by winds and sea currents. That is there a part of that stamp there. Now, then the summer of Hokkaido is 30th of May 2011. Then we have the spotted seal. You can see the spotted seal, also known as Larga seal or Larga seal, is a member of the family of Phocidae, and considered as true seal or in Asahiyama Zoo, located in Asikawa Ward. Asikawa Ward is accessible within 40 minutes bus drive from Ashikawa Station. The zoo is dubbed as one of the biggest and the most northern zoo of Japan. You can see the spotted seal in that zoo. Because once there was a spotted seal that somehow came into Tokyo and it was there in the Surmi River for a long time. Okay. Then we have the Furano is a city in the prefecture of Hokkaido, Japan, located in the southern reaches of Kamikawa sub-prefecture, under whose jurisdiction it resides. Well known throughout Japan as a tourism destination, it is very famous for its lavender fields, which you can see in the stamp down there. Fields of wheat that you see. Wheat is an important part of agriculture. It is one of the two main crops that makes. It is one of the 4 main crops that make up base crop rotation cycle. In June, the wheat starts to grow till rapidly, grows tall rapidly, but first it is green from far away. it is hard to tell if it is a wheat field or that of another crop. However, if you watch the horizon long enough on a windy day, you can probably tell a wheat field by the way it moves. Okay. Then we have the Sapporo statue of Dr. Clark, the famous for the phrase, boys are ambitious. Sunset in Sapporo Observation Hill, the site is recognized. The site is recognized nationally for the panoramic views of the downtown Sapporo and pastoral views of grazing sheep. The current statue of Itsujigaoka Observation Hill was built in 1970, which marked the centennial of Dr. Clark's arrival at Hokkaido. Then we have the Natai Highland stock farm, covering the area of approximately 1,700 hectares. Natai Highland area is larger public ranch in Japan, opened in 1972. It is the widest daily farming area in Japan. Natai means deep mountain stream, and this is the Ainu language for the natives of Japan in Hokkaido area. Approximately 2,000 cows graze here. Then we have the Mount Rishiri. Okay, Rosa rugosa is native to the northern China, Korea, and Japan. Okay, and is a bristly, prickly, sprawling, and suckering shrub that generally grows in around about 4 to 6 feet tall and so wide. And where the Mount Rishiri is the ocean is located on the coast of Hokkaido, Japan, on the Sea of Japan. Okay. It rises from the Sea of Japan, forming the Rishiri Island. Higashi Mokoto is this park highlights the flowering holes of Japan for north and Osaka, the coastal district of Hokkaido, covers around 10 hectares of the plain in north of Mount Mokoto. The entire park turns to a vivid pink annually from May and early June, and the park is Shiba Sakura festival takes place in this time with a variety of events for visitors. Winter Hokkaido, 9 September 2011. The colorful autumn leaves of Mount Daihatsu, green marsh. Mount Daihatsu is not an independent mountain. It is the name of the large mountain located on the center of Hokkaido, and Ashitake, which is the highest in Hokkaido, an altitude of 2291 meters, and is known as the earliest autumn colors of Japan. Lake Mashu and autumn. Last Mashu is Lake Mashu is Caldera Lake in the Akan Mashu National Park, and it was the position of clearest lake in the world, and considered by many in the Japan's most beautiful lake. I'm sorry, I need to apologize to all of you because I have some vision problem. I'm changing my glasses, so I'm not able to read very small this thing. What I would do is I'll project each of these smaller slides for a few minutes. Kindly read through this because I'm having difficulty in reading. I'm expecting my new glasses to come to me within a week. So let's take about 2-3 minutes for you to kindly go through this without my reading about this. This is on winter of Hokkaido, 30th May 2011. Kindly take a few minutes, then we'll go to the next slide. This covers Green Marsh, Clock Tower, Lake Toya in autumn, the Hagoroma waterfall, then Silicornia Europea by Lake Notoro, the sable, and the flying squirrel of Hokkaido, which I would like to say. Hokkaido is the only place in the country where subspecies of Siberian flying squirrel is found. And the Honshu and Kyushu Islands, they have been replaced by the Japanese dwarf squirrel, which is also a flying squirrel. That is on the down south. Okay, we move to the next slide. This is Omotesando areas, Tokyo, 21 October 2011. It's a Yoyogi National Gymnasium in the indoor area of located Yoyogi Park in Shibuya, Tokyo, Japan, which is famous for the suspension roof design. It was designed by Kenzo Tange and was built between 1961 to 1964 to house the swimming and driving events in 1964 Summer Olympics. Omotesando was originally created by Taisho Era and was the frontal approach to Meiji Shrine, which is dedicated to the deified spirits of Emperor Meiji and his wife, Emperor Shoken. It is a Zelkova tree-lined avenue located in Shibuya. Let's move to the next slide. Again, since the slide is small, I need your cooperation in reading it by yourself. I'm finding it difficult to read because of my eyesight. I'm sorry. This covers Shinabazu Pond, Kaminari-mon, Senzoji Temple, the big temple is at Asakusa, then Sumida River, Sumida Park, and Sumida River Fireworks Festival. These are the titles on which the smaller stamps have been made. The details of them are given here. Kindly go through that for a few minutes. Okay, then we have the landmark event in Nagasaki City. Nagasaki City, Urakami Cathedral is one. Urakami Cathedral is located in Urakami Nagasaki Prefecture and is completely destroyed during the atomic bombing of the Nagasaki in 1945. Despite of this catastrophic loss of the symbol of their faith, the local Catholics asked the local government to allow them to return to the cathedral in the same location. In 1959, the building was again completed. Nagasaki Tall Ships Festival. This was started first in April 2000 with a large sailing ships gathered in the port to celebrate 400 years of trade between Japan and Netherlands. Again, my small slide with a lot of small difficulty. I can read the bigger one. We have the Peace Statue, which is the Peace Park after remembering the place, the atomic bombing of Nagasaki. Then Meganebashi, the two arches bridge in the reflection in the water below. It looks like a spectacle, so it's called as Meganebashi. Then we have a Nagasaki Lantern Festival, then Sofukuji Temple, then Glover Gardens. Glover Gardens is again an open air museum in Nagasaki that exhibits mansions, several of the city's former foreign residents and related buildings. Then we have the Nagasaki Kunchi Festival. Then we have the Tateyama Kurobe area. Kurobe is a big dam where it feeds water. You can see the dam down below here. Yeah. Logputs Muta, the Japanese rock ptarmigan, which is that the bird that you sitting down in the stamp below and also the stamp above, the first stamp. Yeah, it's a Japanese ptarmigan. It's been registered as a natural living monument in Japan in the northern Japanese Alps in Toyama or Toyama area, and in July to October 2015 to 2018, it is endemic to Japan, and it resides in the southernmost region of the rock ptarmigan's habitat of the Alpine Meadows zone, which is above the forest limit and at altitudes ranging from 2,000 to 3,000 above the sea level. We move to the next slides. Please kindly, I need your cooperation. And this we do the Great Snow Wall. So that's yes, Great Snow Wall in Toyama Prefecture in Tateyama in Kurobe area. Yeah, the buses can go between the two great snow walls. Then Toyama Falls, the waterfalls there, and then Sentina. This is again is a grass native to the wetlands of Alpine. Then we have the plateau. Then we have the Morodo Daira. Then Utsula Menera. All these things. I'm sorry, I'm finding it difficult to read. I need to get my new glasses. I'm waiting for a few days. Kindly go through that. Or next week I'll request somebody to read that. The material has been already prepared by me. So I'll ask somebody to read it on my behalf. Okay. Then we have the Chiba Prefecture, 25 June 2013. Yeah. Chiba Prefecture is where it's very famous. You have the Narita Airport there. Then the Narita-san Shinsoji Temple, one of Japan's oldest temples. Narita-san Shinsoji Temple is the site of many Buddhist ceremonies dedicated to the fire god Haikala and Ayala, an important religious site of the Shingon sect Buddhism. One of the temple most interesting attractions of the daily Goma fire ritual, a 1,000-year-old tradition, which priests pray before large fire to solve visitors' problem. The Isumi line came into being in 24th March 1980, following the transfer of the assets of the former Kihara 1 line to the newly formed Izumi Railway Company to this area, Chiba. Again, in this, the main stamps that you have is the Suigo Suwara Aquatic Botanical Gardens. Then we have the Chiba Port Towers. Then Nagogiriyama Rope, Nagogiriyama Rope. Then Kaminato Railway, Yoro Keiko Valley. Then we have the Choshi Electric Railway. Then Inubuski Lighthouse. These are the Chiba Prefecture. So that brings us to the present day. Today I certainly owe an apology to all of you. I'm sorry, my eyesight started giving me trouble. I'm not able to read much, but I prepared the things in detail. This will be on the YouTube. People can definitely read. And thank you all very much with a lot of apologies. Thank you.